Ready? It's 6 p.m. on Tuesday, December 21st, 2021, and I hereby call this regularly scheduled meeting of the City Council to order. Could you please bow your heads? As we celebrate the birth of our Savior, we pray for joy in our hearts, love to forgive, and peace among us. We pray that there is bread for the hungry, love for the unlovable, and healing for the sick, protection for our children and for our elderly. We pray for healing of Bray, strength for his mother, knowledge for his medical team, and for protection of his brothers. For this and all unspoken prayers tonight we pray. In his name, amen. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. City Clerk, Ms. Jeannie Klein.
Get the video going.
There it is.
Ready? Mayor
City Clerk.
DePrio.
Here.
Councilmember Finley.
Here.
Councilmember Morian.
Here.
Councilmember Shepherd.
Here.
Councilmember Clark.
Here.
Councilmember Marr.
Here.
Could I get a motion to move to confirm or adjust agenda?
I move.
Motion made by Councilman Clark to move to confirm agenda. May I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Shepherd. All in favor?
Aye.
The next regularly scheduled meeting of the City Council will be held on January 4th, 2022 at 6 p.m. in Council Chambers at 5000 Diamondhead Circle. City Hall will be closed on Thursday, December 23rd and Friday, December 24th for the Christmas holidays, and Friday, December 31st for the New Year's holiday. Under our presentation agenda, we have Mr. Al Jordan with Healy and Jordan attorneys here to let us know about the opioid litigation. Would you like to come to the podium? I am ready. And we also have Mr. Weems.
This is Evan Weems.
Edmund Weems.
Evan.
Evan,
I'm only here if you have any detail questions. Evan's going to do the heavy lifting.
thank you.
That's right.
And welcome to Diamondhead.
Thank you. So you've retained us to represent you in the opioid litigation, and we have, and we filed the suit, and if you look at these entities across the state, a lot of them aren't classified as litigating entities because they didn't file suit, but we did, which is about the only thing we have to be proud of in the Diamondhead suit. The settlement, ultimately is a national settlement that gets whittled down to the state level, and it's based on a number of things, but essentially tables, and not to put too fine a point on it, but Long Beach is just, not Long Beach, my lord, City of Diamondhead is just too small, and then they're not going to get any award. It's something like $52, $55 on a money judgment award out of this. It doesn't mean you're certainly not precluded and you'll be benefited from the services and things like that, but we can't take an attorney fee from services. If we could, I promise you I would. But we can't. And it's sort of would shock the conscience of Diamondhead City if we took a $7 attorney fee. So
Right.
we're not going to be doing that. To explain portions of this settlement, which are exhausting, you got the maximum amount you could possibly get, which is fantastic, and I'm very proud of that. But it's also incredibly sad because to get the maximum amount, you have to have it to be a litigating entity. We were one of the first people to file suit in this thing in federal court, and we filed suit and it got sucked up into the MDL, which is essentially like a class action, So you're afforded the benefit of having attorneys that, put forth a bunch of money and a couple of years of time into it. You're just not going to get a money award that's worth talking about. You're just not. It's $52, $57. So what we're asking for today is, okay, the alternative is that you pull yourself out of this suit and you go file on on your own behalf, and you don't join this MDL, the class. That's the alternative. It's a terrible alternative because these, what they call these bellwether cases, these cases that they try to see what these settlements are going to be. It's analogous to the BP settlement, right? Vaguely analogous to it because you've got these what they call bellwether cases where they'll try a case in Minnesota to see what this thing is worth in different parts of the country, and then you can sort of infer what the global settlement's going to be. So if you went and tried the thing, Diamondhead would essentially get next to nothing, and you would be upside down on sort of a cost-benefit analysis of attorney fees in doing that. You shouldn't do it. And if you do it, I probably would try to tackle all of you and stop you.
Right.
It's ridiculous. You will get the benefit, of the sort of the state mandated funds, right? That gets trickled down, but you're not going to really get any money to talk about. Just a negligible award, of that. So if you have any questions, I brought Evan Weems here, and Evan is a legitimate expert. He, in fact, is a certified federal trial expert in the MDLs out of BP, the cases that are still going. And so he's been involved in this settlement the entire time. He's with the firm of Langston and Weems. And I brought him in case we get into the weeds and some sophisticated questions about it. But do you have any questions about, and what we're looking for is just a resolution from the city to allow us to docu-sign these to include you in the settlement. That's what we're looking for today. Do you have any questions?
Not for me.
Okay,
I
good.
don't think so, no.
Yeah, thank y'all. We appreciate it. We hope that another, catastrophic thing doesn't happen, but we're here to spend several years on your behalf if it does. And I hope you think about us again. And thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to turn over to Derek if he can just update us real quickly. They didn't specifically say what the opioid litigation was about, so if you could do it in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, just real quick.
Because there may be residents in the audience that aren't sure about what it was about.
With all of the prescription medication out there, all those opioid drugs that were, the allegation is overprescribed, and it was a burden on a lot of cities. There were a lot of overdose deaths that required police, ambulance, fire services to respond in cities across the country, mainly major metropolitan areas, to expend a lot of money. And so a lot of cities across the country filed lawsuits against the major pharmaceutical manufacturers and the distributors. All of that, as Mr. Jordan mentioned, got sucked into a class action, for lack of a better word, in one federal district court, and a global settlement was reached. And and as he said, there were tables that were used to determine who would get what based on number of incidents, number of overdose deaths, and all that. And thankfully for Diamondhead, we just didn't have it, and so that was a good thing. If we had, we would have received more money. But there is also a portion of this money that's going to go to the state. It's going to go to medical center up in Jackson. They're going to do some treatment programs and things throughout the state to help end this epidemic. And so that really is the good news. So while we're not going to get a money settlement, there is money going to the state that will be used throughout the state to assist.
And that means a great deal.
And it does.
Thank you very much. Next, we have the newest executive director of the Hancock County Library System. We're very excited to have John here tonight to update us on the library system, what's going on, and exciting things that are happening.
Thank you. Thank you for putting myself and the library system on the agenda tonight. Thank you for the time. Like Mayor DePrio said, I am new to the area. I'm new to this position. So it is different with the weather being so nice in December. I'm from Chicago, so it's lovely to be here. So I just wanted to update you all on what I've seen thus far in my early 3 months. being here at the library system within Hancock County and what we're looking to do into the future for 2022. Last week, we just ended our 27th annual Holiday Tree Gala, which historically was only set aside for Bay St. Louis, where we had one event and it was only at the Bay St. Louis branch. This year, we decided to open it up to all the branches to bring in businesses and organizations to help set up a tree at all of the branches. With that, we had over 100 businesses and organizations across the community of Hancock County participate in this tree gala. Historically, there was only about 50 or 55 businesses that participated. So by doing this, we completely doubled the number of participants, as well as the amount of people that showed up to our branches for the tree gala, which historically we had one event where there was 300 or 400 people at Bay St. Louis, and then one event that was open to the public at Bay St. Louis. And this year we did it the whole week at each branch, and we were able to bring in over 950 patrons throughout each of our branches collectively. So that was pretty good for our community, and it only looks like we're going to continue to this way into the future to increase participation amongst the different branches, including the one here in Diamondhead. Another thing that I've done so far is I've met with all of the staff members in our system, and I've also joined Rotary. I'm on leadership of Hancock County, part of the Chamber of Commerce, and through all of this, I've had many formal and informal conversations with key members of the county, within Diamondhead, within Bay St. Louis, just everywhere. And it's been very helpful for me to understand the background on the short history of the library here in Diamondhead. I think it was built and opened in 2015, so it's short. It's only been here for about 7 years. But there is a lot of stories to it, a lot of backstory still that I don't really understand yet, but I'm getting there to understand it. But one thing that I did realize that a lot of patrons have approached me and my staff is the naming of it. Right now it's called Hancock East is on the building, but it's referred to as East Hancock, but it's in Diamondhead. So one of the things that we're looking at currently, and we're talking with our board attorney and the board of supervisors attorney, is to change the name to Diamondhead Public Library. So that's one of the first things that I'm going to try to do in the next coming year, as long as it's okay with the contract that was set forth by the federal government, because the building was created by the Hurricane Katrina funds, and it was a county deal. So that's one of the things that I'm looking to do, and hopefully partner with Mayor DeBrio and maybe do a ribbon cutting with the Chamber of Commerce to really make sure that everyone knows that the library branch is still open, because I've heard people, community members, I also am a resident of Diamondhead, and so I've heard people saying, oh, that library's back open. So I guess it closed a few years back for a little bit, and there was a big deal about it, but changing the name and having an event like that would really push the Diamondhead branch into the future. The second thing going into 2022 is we are resuming all of our in-person programming, including the programming that happens at the Diamondhead branch. We have a great partnership with Excel by 5 to ensure that all of the kids in the community of Hancock County can excel by the age of 5 when they do get to kindergarten. And so our story hour will begin January 10th, and that will be Mondays at 10:30 going forward with Excel by 5 group at the Diamondhead branch. One of the big things that I'm working on, we're in the process of securing a library consultant to help us work through our next strategic plan, our 5-year strategic plan for the library systems, to make sure that we are utilizing our resources appropriately for our community. And one of the things that we need to do is we need to create a strategic planning committee. And one of the things that I would like to do is involve our funding authorities and key members of our community within Hancock County to be part of this, so that they're there from the beginning, that understands what the library needs moving forward. So it makes my job easier every year when I do come to you and talk about the library system, that you guys have that base knowledge of how we got to this strategic plan, and also to make sure that our strategic plan is aligned with the plan of the city of Diamondhead. because that is one of the most important things, right?
Right.
Because I don't want to be doing something that's over here and you guys are over here. I would like to be going down the same path together so that our resources are utilized in conjunction with each other. So I reached out to Mayor DePrio, and she was excited to be included in on that, as well as the city manager, Mike Riso. So with that, that's really most of everything. I've only been here 3 months, and it's like drinking from a fire hose. But I'm very excited about the future of the library system. I have a lot of great ideas, not just about Diamondhead, but about all of our branches. But Diamondhead specifically because of the history and getting it right on track with the growth of the city of Diamondhead. And I think the library system can be part of that and help with what the vision that you all have going forward.
Thank you very much.
We have any idea how many people come through the Diamondhead Library or the East Hancock Library in a week or a month? Or
So library visits from fiscal year 2017 to 2022, obviously during COVID there was no one coming through our branches, but we were at about 3,000 to 4,000 people a month coming through our doors, and the Diamondhead branch was the only one to recuperate from COVID. All the other branches have yet to be at the level of what they were prior to COVID. And that's essentially with everything else. By fiscal year 2017 to 2022, Diamondhead has seen a 52% increase from fiscal year 17. In terms of new account registrations, since fiscal year 2017, we've had an increase of 85.5% of new account registrations, so new people getting library cards per year. Total circulation, it's the same. It's increased from 2017 to fiscal year 2019 by 40%. The total circulation has not seen the level since COVID. So we're Diamondhead branch is still getting there, but it's trending in the right direction.
great, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And pre-COVID, I know we had an increase. We had an increase significantly back in, I want to say 2016, was it? 15? We had a large increase. So we know the residents of Diamondhead greatly appreciate the staff is the best we could ask for in Diamondhead. So thank you for an excellent staff.
The one thing
You're
that
blessed.
the one
Yes.
thing that I've been very fortunate with is the staff that I have at each one of my branches. The staff are very passionate about their community. Many of them have been born and raised and know everyone in the community, and that's priceless when you're trying to run a library system, because it's the passion that they're doing their job for, and it's amazing to see. And I'm lucky to have that coming in as a new person, not only to the position but also to the community as well. So.
Well, welcome to Diamondhead.
Welcome to that, exactly.
Thank you.
Welcome to Diamondhead, your wife and all those beautiful children.
Yeah, I also have 4 kids too. I'm staying pretty busy. Thank you very much, you guys.
Thank you
All right.
very much, and thanks for the update.
Thanks.
And now we have the city manager's report, Mr. Michael Russo.
Yes, ma'am. On the agenda, there's a donation of land. We have a resolution to accept 2 parcels of land from 2 separate property owners. This land will be used for permanent green space and drainage. We're continuing the process of asking some property owners if they would like to donate these, I call them wet lots, to the city to be used, again, permanently for drainage. We have a Go Mesa grant application on the agenda. I'm asking for authorization to submit that application for 4 drainage projects in the city, totaling $1.8 million. This does not require any local matching funds. These are the projects that were identified in the Wagner Engineer report that are all in the northeast section of the city and all basically drain into Coon Branch. We applied for 3 of these last summer, so I've just added 1 more where we had some house flooding on Anahola. And so it's all really connected. So I'd like to submit that before year end. Salary increase at the last meeting, the council approved a 3% salary increase for all employees. The resolution on the agenda tonight sets those salary for the employees effective January 3, 2022. East Aloha Drive project. We do have a motion on the agenda to accept the low bid of $420,000 from Moran Hauling for Phase 1 of East Aloha Drive project. This includes work between the curbs, so it deals with the roadway, crosswalk, drainage, and parallel parking gets added. Since it's more than we've allocated in the budget, the administration would prepare a budget amendment for the next meeting if the council approves the low bid. We'll be moving on to Phase 2 shortly thereafter, and we have grant money for that as well. Text amendments to the zoning ordinance. The P&Z Commission is recommending 2 text amendments to the zoning ordinance. The first is changing advertising and publication requirements. Since the Seco Echo now only runs once a week, this has created a very long timeline for residents requesting some permits. This change will expand the number of homes that received a direct mail letter from our building department to alert them of a possible variance in their neighborhood, and that change would go from 300 feet that is current to 400 feet. So anything that's 400 feet away from that house, that property, would get a letter. But it also reduces the newspaper advertising from currently 2 down to 1. Again, it would just kind of speed up the process. The second text amendment requires the use of 100-year storm events in the stormwater ordinance. Currently, we only require preparation for a 25-year event. The P&Z has recommended, after discussion, to change that to a 100-year rain event. In short, it means in a project that they're designing, they'll have to retain more water locally on the parcel or on the project. Main Street Association. I have been notified that our application for a network community has been approved by Mississippi Main Street for the city of Diamondhead. This is great news, and we will begin working with the Mississippi Main Street Association to just start getting organized. I thought that would be another smile for some faces. Street paving project Phase 4. We've started looking at streets to include in Phase 4 paving project. Maps have been distributed to the council for their input. The administration will continue to recommend roads that are rated the worst based on the PACER scale in the Road Maintenance and Improvement Plan from 2018. I will also be recommending that we partner with the county to have our roads reassessed after the completion of Phase 4. This would be sometime in late spring, early summer. So I've been in communication with SMPDD and the county. They've asked if they wanted to do it again. I just asked them if they'd wait until we finish Phase 4. This has been a great tool, having the assessment to kind of guide us in the right direction to go look at the worst streets. Diamondhead Multimodal Lane. Orion is finishing up the final proof on the construction plans for a protected multimodal lane on Diamondhead Drive. This will create a 7-mile protected lane for bikes, pedestrians, and golf courts for the entire loop in Diamondhead. It was one of the major paths identified in the comprehensive plan. The cost of the project is estimated somewhere in the $400,000 range, mainly because of buying the turtles and other pieces, signage, and things that need to go up. In the short term, does the council want to begin working on changing the parking ordinance to make this loop a no parking zone? We would need to amend the ordinance through a text amendment process and then install signs, possibly put paint on the ground. I have inquired with Orion about getting a cost estimate for this initial step as we look to try and secure grant funding to handle the big dollars. That would allow us to basically build it in phases and take it in steps. So we have some progress. And otherwise, we're looking for funding for it. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions to my
Yeah,
left?
Mike, for that zoning for the no parking, would that have to have a open meeting of the
Absolutely.
residents?
It would follow a text amendment process. You have to basically change your parking ordinance.
Any questions to my right? Well, I had the multimodal lane on mine tonight to ask about, because, we've been working on this, it feels like, for a few years, but it's probably not been a few years. So moving with the parking, we need to go ahead and move with that, and the reason being, we'll have residents already notified that, hey, we can't park here, it's the multimodal lane, and starting on the signage, painting. I'm ready. I think we're ready to move forward. I'm not speaking for everyone else, but this is going to be a great benefit for the city to have the 7-mile multi-level multimodal lane for residents to use, and I've got several of them asking when it's going to be finished.
If the council would entertain some type of a motion that kind of directs planning and zoning to have a public hearing for a text amendment to the parking ordinance would kind of be a next step.
Before
Okay.
we dive, we do need to, I'm sure this will include or whatever, but we need to talk about your alternatives. If you have several holidays where you have many people at one house, where do they park? You know, do you have a public area that we have as a city, people can park and then they can shuttle back and forth? Do they park in the median, and do we give them a pass for that weekend? How are we going to handle this?
I think that's through this public process and having discussion, that's when we'll get into those weeds. But I mean,
I'm just
think you're
saying, I'm
very
not
much-
asking for answers right now. I'm just saying these are ideas that we need to, because if
think
we
the
go ahead
fact-
and if we say no parking here,
Mhm.
and suddenly you wind up with 10 cars in the median at one spot, and now they all got tickets, and then they all want to come to City Hall and whine and complain, and then we have a mess on our hands. So we have to
We,
decide how to handle
I
how
agree.
to handle a solution after we create, our.
And I
and
think
we have event parking permits they have to come
Yes.
get. That's already in
Okay.
place. It's just we tend to forget about it.
Well,
And folks don't come get them when they have many that need to. But the first step is to get it on the planning and zoning so that we can review all the issues.
And again, I think those are things that's going to need to be worked out because,
Mhm.
again, people who live on Diamondhead Drive, the loop, 7 miles of houses are impacted.
yes.
So I don't think it's just jump in the water. I mean,
No,
I think
it's a lot of
about
Thousands
taking
and
baby
thousands of
steps.
people who are
And
all going to have this very same
and
question that I
They're going to
had,
probably call their councilman.
So.
I mean, I think it's take it slow, and I think having the public hearing, having comments,
Mhm.
and don't rush into it, because it's going to take several months to do. So, but the question is, if you want to start, you got to start somewhere.
That's what I'm kind of looking for, some guidance from Orion as well, as they come up with this plan and finalize it. What kind of options do they have? Because one of the things that you're going to be looking at from a safety standpoint is if this is a dedicated lane for bikes and pedestrians, how do you temporarily allow parking there? And so if you can't ever, what are some of those alternatives, and what can you do? I'll be interested to see their final plan and see if they have anything built in as alternatives for parking.
Yeah, because I think the median's not an option because that's going to, one bad weather weekend or something like that, that's going to be torn up.
And right now, that would have to change as well,
And
because right
short
now
of a
there's no
parking
parking on the
garage
median.
or a designated parking area, we are, in my eyes, headed for a very interesting situation.
It will improve Diamondhead significantly to have a 7-mile multimodal bike
Oh,
lane.
oh, no
We will
doubt,
up
but-
the ante, and we will be able to have events. There were several residents at Cruising the Coast that mentioned this. We're a prime example of hosting triathlons and big events. It's getting us up there and getting us prepared. And back years ago, Alan, in the nobody ever parked in the lane there. It just started over the past few years and it's becoming more common.
And I feel like if we all drove smart cars, we could fit everybody and it'd be fine. But a lot of people like big vehicles. So it's just a question that I have. Where are we headed, and what's our solutions?
And again, I would agree with you on the fact is I think we need to have some of those answers before the council would take action, before I'd want to make some recommendation to say move forward. I mean,
So to start the
I think it's going to be a
discussion,
training curve.
we need to add the motion for the planning and zoning, a motion to authorize the planning and zoning to start a workshop on the parking ordinance.
That would be a good first step.
Should we get input from Orion on some suggestions on where do people park for events and how that before we get P&Z started? I mean, that's.
We can definitely ask.
That's up to y'all, and I'm not sure how they're getting closer on the final plan, but obviously,
They are.
Well, maybe
that's the
Orion
first
could
step.
sit in on the meeting or sit in
I
on the
would-
workshop.
I would
mean,
definitely-
absurd.
That's a very good
We
suggestion.
certainly don't need
Right.
Orion, who's in charge of our grand plan, to be left out of anything
They would
that's
have-
really part of a 7-mile loop in Diamondhead.
They would have to be included in that process, absolutely.
Legal, what should our motion read?
A motion to authorize, you could have either a public hearing or a workshop as Councilman Shepherd. I mean, that would be an initial step, just to do a workshop, to have Orion do a workshop at the planning and zoning level, invite the public, have them there, just to get some initial thoughts rolling, and flush out some of these concerns that Councilman Moran and others have.
Okay. I move to amend the agenda to add under the action agenda, item 13, a motion to authorize planning and zoning to hold a workshop for proposed parking amendments with the assistance of Orion Planning. Could I get a motion to move as amended?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Gerard. Okay, and second by?
Second.
Second by Councilman Moran. Vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor, if I can, real quick, just another little, I'm gonna order just a box of the little, what they call turtles, just so y'all can see what they're talking about. I think it's a good investment to let y'all be able to see, hey, this is looking to be about 3 or 4 inches off the ground. It's 6-inch diameter on the base. It's yellow, so you can kind of see what defines the roadway compared to the protected multimodal lane.
Okay.
And that goes, those little things are placed basically every 5 feet for 7 miles.
And that's a good, and we need a delineation, because right now if somebody parks on the median, I've seen parents with babies and strollers that just dart out into the traffic lane because you've got to go around the parked cars, or a bicyclist or a walker. So we've been needing to work on this. It's time to get serious and move forward. All right. Could I get a motion? Is that all the questions we have for the city manager?
Already voted.
We voted, all in favor. Sorry, we can re-vote. Do we need to? Could I get a motion to approve the December 7th, 2021 regular scheduled meeting minutes? Motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Finley. All in favor? Aye. And City Clerk, you did confirm no public comments. All right, Resolution 2021-402, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-082 to accept the donation of real property for drainage and green space purposes from Hammonds and Pertini and for other related matter. Could I get a motion?
So moved.
Ooh, we have everybody at once. We're excited to get these two parcels. So I'm going to say a motion made by Councilman Marr. Second.
Second.
Second made by Councilman Shepherd. Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right? And this is 2 lots that are being donated to the city for drainage. All in favor? Aye. Roll call. Resolution. City Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Moran.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021-403, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-083, thereby authorizing the submittal of FY22 Go Mesa grant application for funding for Diamondhead drainage projects and other related purposes, other related matters. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Clark. Second.
Second.
Second made by Councilman Shepherd. And again, this is for the areas over by Alamona, Coon Branch, and that area over in the northwest section. Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right? City Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Moran.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. 2021-084, motion to adopt Resolution 2021-084, setting the salaries for FY22 with 3% an increase effective January 2nd, 2022. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Shepherd. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Marr. Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right? I have one thing to say. We still didn't get the comparative salaries update that
Yeah,
we've been
came
waiting
out.
to get.
No, we have a building
is that what-
department only.
Put it on our desk.
Put it on your desk.
So we just received it right at the meeting, and I hadn't
Before
had
the
a
meeting.
chance because I just got it, so I have no comments.
Yeah, they're in kind of numerical order for each position, highest paid to lowest paid by position, with Diamondhead highlighted in yellow, which you'll see lands about in the middle for all positions, except the part-time code enforcement. He's part-time compared to full-time.
I guess there are only certain ones here. Did we not get one for all employees? We just have, see the building department and the.
We've been trying to get all the, and we
yeah, so
intend to
this
get
is all
all.
you can get your hands on right now?
We started with the building,
Yeah.
so we emailed all these cities with the building,
Yeah.
Department, and so we came back and had to ask for everyone else. Some slowly have answered, but,
Yeah.
we just,
Okay.
and so I emailed them again.
No answer.
Well, a few more, but
Yeah.
not as many. The building was pretty much already that information I had.
Gulfport did not give us anything on that.
We didn't get anything from Gulfport.
Of course, can be out of the ballpark,
Yeah, because they're bigger.
I
But we're
guess-
working to have every position in the city for
And
y'all.
that would be good to have, like, before the next meeting, so we have time to review it, and look at where we are comparative to others, if we could do it for all the positions. I know that's an undertaking.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Even when you call them, they'll tell you,
I mean,
I'll email it. I mean, I guess they're just.
And they're busy, that's why you're probably gonna have to wait till after the first of the year. It's not a good time to be asking, I guess, with the holidays.
But it is all public knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, we could do a public records request, and formally, any email they receive would be considered a public records request.
Just Google it too,
Officially.
right?
But we've emailed once, called once.
And Mike got some for me that he went to the city managers and mayor.
Mm-hmm. All right, and if it's February and March before we get it, then we'll just have to wait till we get it. But it's good to have so we know where we are. All right, thank you, and thanks for working on it. Resolution 2021-408.
We didn't take a roll.
Oh,
vote
sorry.
on the salary.
City Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Morian,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Mar.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021-408. Motion to adopt Resolution 2021-085, thereby concurring with the Planning Commission's recommendation and approving the City of Diamondhead text amendment to reduce the number of publication days and increase the number of mail notices in the zoning ordinance. Ordinance 2012-006 and Subdivision Regulations Ordinance 2020-001. Case numbered is 2021-00493. The proposed text amendments would make the following changes to the Appendix A, Zoning Article 2.9, Public Notice Procedure, Section 2.1A, change 300 feet to 400 feet. Section 2.9.1B, change 300 feet to 400 feet. Section 2.96B, change 300 feet to 400 feet. Section 2.9A2, change 2 publication days to 1 publication day. And Subdivision Regulations, Article 3. Procedures, Article 301.6, change 300 feet to 400 feet. And Article 303.2.3, change 300 feet to 400 feet, Article 320.4E and Article 320.5B, change 300 to 400. That was exhausting. Could I get a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Shepherd. And short of all of that, publication is going to be reduced from 2 times to 1 time so that we can have easier access with the Seacoast Echo and get it publicized. We do have the library here, so additionally we could go post it up in the library, the post office. That's additional posting. And 300 feet to 400 feet, 400 means more residents will be notified of something in their area. Any comments to the left? Any comments to the right? City Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Morian.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Mar.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021-409. Motion to adopt Resolution 2021-086, thereby concurring with the Planning Commission's recommendation and approving the City of Diamondhead text amendment to require the use of 100-year storm events in the zoning ordinance, Ordinance 2012-019, the stormwater runoff, illicit charges, and illegal connections ordinance 2013-030, case file number is 2021-00494. The text amendments would make the following changes to the zoning ordinance, Article 14. Land alterations and disturbances, Article 14.1.3D. Land clearing and drainage, change 5-year storm to 100-year storm. Insert a period after unmanized areas, remove wherein the rainfall in 1 hour at a rainfall of 3 inches per hour, and add the approximate value for precipitation intensely in inches per hour shall be obtained from the NOAA website. Then we have the NOAA website listed. The website provides precipitation intensely information before runoff shall be drained, and stormwater runoff, illicit discharges, and illegal connections ordinance chapter 24, stormwater management section 2410A, stormwater detention standards and requirements, add 100-year after the 50-year to 2-year, 5-year, 10-year, 25-year, and 50-year 24-hour storm events. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Shepherd. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark. Any discussion to my left?
Yeah, I just have one question. It may seem simple to you guys that know all of this, but if we have 100-year, why do we have to list 50-year, 2-year, 5-year, 10-year, and 25-year? Why can't we just say 100-year and leave the rest out?
I've had engineers explain that to me. I mean,
We have one here tonight that would
I
love
did
to
see Ben
stand up.
behind me. If
I
he'd
see
like
Ben
to
behind you with
clarify that.
Covington Engineers, our fabulous city engineer, if he would not mind coming up and letting us know why we have this. We have Mr. Ben Benvenuti with Covington Engineers. They are the city's engineer. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No problem. That's a good question.
Well, first of all, could you read the motion again?
Different storm events, different intervals, and coupled with different intensities, give you different storm elevations. So even though we're looking at the 100-year, we want to know what the impacts are on those lesser storms. Your detention may be designed for the 100-year, but your inlets and everything else may have different design storms. And
I'm still not getting it. But let me ask you this. Would it not be true that a 100-year storm would provide the most water, and that if something could pass through a 100-year storm and adequately hold it in the detention pond or let it drain, that any other lesser would be less than that 100-year storm?
I believe so.
So then I still don't see the reasonings for having the rest.
I think the most important part of this is the post and the pre-runoff that we are designing for 100-year in lieu of the 25 and 50. So
Correct.
the storage capacity is going to be larger. The cost for development is going to be slightly larger, but Diamondhead will be protected for the future.
The downstream impact is really what you're looking for here.
Right. Okay.
And I'll get a better answer from our stormwater expert and get it back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Benvenuti. Any other questions? All right. City Clerk, Ms. Jeannie Klein.
Finley,
Yes.
Morian,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marr,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2021 dash blah, blah, blah. We do not have a number. Motion to adopt Resolution 2021, thereby abandoning a 5-foot drainage utility easement on each side of the common property line between lots 31 and 32, Diamondhead Phase 1, Unit 8, Block 4. The physical address is 1084 Cola Court, Parcel numbers are 067G-1-25-035.000 and 067G-1-25-036.00. Could I get a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Marr. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Shepherd. And this again is two lots with one owner being consolidated, and the middle lot line between the two lots that we have 5-foot easements on being vacated. Any discussion to my left? Discussion to my right? City Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Moran,
Yes.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marr,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Could I get a motion to approve consent agenda items 8 through 11? Motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Finley. Action agenda item 2021 dash.
Get the vote, Mayor.
Oh, sorry, y'all, I am rushing tonight,
You're
huh?
rolling tonight.
Let's all calm down and we're gonna vote on the consent agenda. All in favor? Aye.
I would make a comment on that, Hilo Street culvert. That's looking really good down there. It's seemed like it took forever to get that job going. I mean, they knocked it out
Yes, it
quick. and
did.
It really looks great.
Mhm. All right. Action agenda 2021-407. A motion to concur with the Planning Commission's recommendation to approve Janet Harmon Kirby and John A. Kirby's application requesting a variance from the zoning ordinance Article 4.19 to allow the construction of a covered patio 36 by 26 by 11.4 within the 17.9 feet of the rear property line. Additionally, to construct a masonry fireplace 3 feet by 6 feet within 14.9 of the rear property line. The property address is 7518 Augusta Way. The tax parcel number is 067M2-35-007.00. The property is located in an R1 zoning district. The rear yard setback is 20 feet. The variance requested for the covered patio is 2.1 feet, and the fireplace is 5.1 feet. The case file number is 2021-00459. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Marr. Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right? And this basically is an existing patio that they are closing in with a fireplace. All in favor? Aye. Action agenda item 13. A motion to authorize planning and zoning to hold a workshop in conjunction with Orion Planning to discuss the parking regulations.
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Marr. Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right? All in favor?
Aye.
Claims payable. Motion to approve the docket of claims DKT 159144-DKT 159165 in the amount of $212,043.75. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Shepherd. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Moran. All in favor? Aye. Could I get a motion to approve department reports A and B?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Shepherd. All in favor? Aye. City Clerk, is there any public or non-agenda item? No public comments tonight. Thank you. Mr. Derek Cusick, is there any need for executive session for any? Thank you very much.
Can we meet afterwards and read that motion again? Just one more time.
That was a biggie. And we have several engineering firms here represented. We see Kenichi over here, Nancy with Kenichi. And we have Pickering right here, and we have Ben Benvenuti. So we thank you all for coming to Diamondhead to answer any questions we have at the meetings. And usually we're full of questions. Tonight we were good. I think we got it. Any other further comments?
I just want to wish everybody here happy holidays, a great new year, and we'll see you again in 2022.
I wish everybody Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry
Amen.
Christmas
I
from
would
all
like-
of us. And thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you.
I would like to adjourn in memory of Mayor DiPrio's niece who passed away recently
Thank
of
you.
a sudden illness.
So we have a motion to adjourn. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for coming tonight and have a very blessed Merry Christmas.